down 99% in the past 3 years. Is AVCT in for a short squeeze, and should you consider taking the risk? Sit tight as we go through recent news as well as my chart analysis and price prediction. But before we do that, subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for regular stock market updates. First up, the short interest for AVCT stood at 11.54% as reported on 14th September, with 5 hedge funds holding the stock in their portfolio. Investors over at the Reddit community are excited and bullish on the stock because of a few reasons. AVCT has partnerships with AT&T, IBM, and Etisalat, which indicates good support from the big money, and they recently announced a reverse stock split at a 1 for 15 term, which started trading at the new price from 3rd October. Apart from this, the company had announced a new deal with institutional investors under which institutions would purchase 5 million shares with warrants of purchase of up to 10 million shares. The combined price for purchase was $2, with the warrants having an exercisable price of $1.8 with a 45-day deadline and 2-year expiry. This deal took place on 20th October as revealed by an SEC filing, and the monetary proceeds will be used for general expenses. With all that in mind, let's analyze the charts. So as you guys can see right here, we're now in the 1 week chart for AVCT, and first we'll analyze the 1 week chart, then the 1 day chart, and to end it off we'll get into the 1 hour chart. But right off the bat, we can see that right now we're at a price of $1.37, which is in a green candle because of course today we just got the reports that the GDP has grown by 3.6%, I believe, and that was more than expected. So of course it nudged the stocks a bit higher, but still stocks like Baba and Amazon, Apple, all of these are underperforming, right? Even Google and Meta, of course Meta is down a lot. But never mind that, if we look at AVCT, of course we can see that we had a lot of dry volumes up until over here when we got a 30 million share purchase. That was on 6th December 2021, right? So of course, after that, we can see that we got somewhat of a pump and dump. And ever since then, the stock lost its volumes up until over here on 29, just 29th August. And that was, of course, a day after its earnings, or rather 2 days, or rather 2 weeks. I'm sorry for that, right? It was 2 weeks after its earnings. And over here, we got this negative pin bar candle followed by a red candle, which is again a pin bar, indicating a slight jump on the upside, which we did get. So after that, we got a red engulfing candle, which indicated a downtrend. So that pretty much means that the stock is in a downtrend at the moment. Over here, you can see that on 3rd October, we went for the 1 to 15 stock split. And now we're ready for the earnings report on 28th November, which, if you ask me, I already looked up their financials and their revenue has fallen by, I believe, 26 or 27%. That was reported on July 2020, or rather 2022. I'm sorry for that. And the earnings and net profit and stuff like that has increased by 30, 35 such percentages. And it's kind of confusing to me, honestly, because I see the stock not as a loser in general, but of course it's a risky bet because whenever Reddit comes into the picture, it turns into a risky bet. And considering the fact that institutions are shorting it, I seriously believe that we need a lot of volume to tackle that. So of course, we can't really talk about support and resistance levels either with, because we've never reached such low points. But technically speaking, I believe that we'll probably have a support around 1.22, I believe, right? Excuse this line over here. I mean to say 1.22. So let me zoom in a bit so I can get the levels correct, right? So 1.22 and then around 1.12, around 1, which is $1 is a psychological zone, right? After that, around, I believe, 87, 85, somewhere around there. So these should be the support levels. Of course, if you ask me, the stock is going to fall until we get better, volumes and investors who actually want to hold the stock rather than benefit short term. Because right now, as you guys can see, we have just pump and dump scenarios, right? People buy the stock over here, sell it, buy it, and well, they sold it the same day. And then again, buy it, sell it, and the selling spree just continues. With that, I don't personally give the stock a buy rating. Of course, if you're happy betting on risky stuff, go ahead. Who am I to stop you? But with that being said, of course, I won't touch the stock personally. And I would recommend at least friends and family to not touch the stock. With that being said, let's quickly jump onto the 1 day chart to see if that can change my mind. So now that we're in the 1 day chart, we have a bit more clarity as to what is exactly happening with the stock. And we can see that over here, for example, once we got a massive green candle, of course, we got a small pullback and we were on our way to make a bullish trend, which of course was not possible with a fundamentally weak and institutionally challenged company. So after that, of course, we got a massive pullback, a red pin bar candle to the downside, another red pin bar candle to the upside. So of course, we did not go down much after that, right? Pretty much just, of course, it's a penny stock, so even small movements would mean a lot in terms of percentages. After that, we can see that we got an insider candle and another insider candle over here. We got a reversal scenario over here, which played out pretty well, but it was purely out of luck, if you ask me, because we already did get a cancellation for that uptrend over here. Of course, this like 50 or 60% climb does count as an uptrend, but if we talk about this scenario, of course, we got a pin bar candle over here as well, followed by a massive red candle. So this green candle couldn't invalidate that, right? We did get a red candle on the upside, followed by another green candle, but it was bound to fall because we were making lower lows and lower highs as well. After that, we can see that we got another pin bar candle to the upside and another to the downside, indicating a negative reversal, which we did get, right? So if we talk about resistance over here, we can see that we have a resistance level pretty much around $2.8, I believe, right? We have a support where we made a double bottom, which has now turned into a resistance around $1.6, right? Of course, under that, if we talk about some more support levels, we do have a support around 1.25, which I already told you, and we made a bottom at 1.21. We're getting a green candle today if we look over here, which is, we're still kind of squeezing into the negative range, so I seriously don't buy this, right? But in my opinion, if we can get a breakout, we might be able to get a small intraday trade, or rather a small swing trade over here for like 20-30% profit. I don't know. But again, it's really hard for this to play out well. But of course, if you want to be like the initial investors of something big, then sure, take your risks. I don't mind. But remember that this definitely is not financial advice. And of course, this stock especially is, I would say, 100 times more risky than something like Apple or Amazon. With that being said, before we make our final conclusions, let's quickly jump onto the 1 hour chart to see any more details. Now that we're in the 1 hour chart, this chart entirely just screams one thing, and that is dry volumes, right? As you guys can see, we barely get any volumes for the stock, and when we do, of course, it either goes up really high or comes down really low. And of course, that's not a good sign, right? In order for any stock to go up or even down for that matter, it needs volume. So investing in a stock which does not have any volume seems kinda, I won't say foolish because that would probably hurt a lot of you, but again, I'm sorry for that. But in my opinion, it just doesn't make sense, right? So I personally would not trade a stock if it's not getting. Now, let me show you guys this 5 minute thing over here, for example, right? We're not getting anything, any movements over here on the 5 minute candles, and that is a major red flag for me. Coming back to the 1 hour chart, though, we can see that it's kind of a mixed trend, right? We're not even getting any trends. We are just getting traders who are coming in the stock, taking their money and going away, right? It's not exactly the type of stock that you want to hold long term. So with that, if you ask me what my opinion is, of course, as I already told you, I'm not touching this stock. I would rather put my money in something like Apple or Amazon, right? Or even Ford for that matter, which is a really bad stock in the automobile industry, is a better stock than AVCT in my opinion. But of course, right, if you're talking about short squeeze and all of that stuff, sure, it might happen. But technically, as you can see, we're doing a technical analysis. This doesn't hint at anything good happening. But then again, it's just my own opinion, so please don't hate me for it. And remember that this definitely was not financial advice, and you should always do your own research before you trade. If, however, you enjoyed my analysis, be sure to hit the like button. If you did not enjoy it, be sure to hit the dislike button. You can subscribe to our channel Stocks 101 for more such videos. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one.